when leaders are not seeing things happening at the pace that they would like,
Yes.
they sometimes get discouraged.
Correct. Yes.
Or sometimes your team gets discouraged.
Yes.
How do you keep a team motivated in those times when things don't actually move quite as fast as you would like, although they are moving?
Yes, yes. In terms of trying to keep the team motivated, I think for me what it has been is communication. In trying to keep people informed about what is happening and why things are happening. And even sometimes you don't have the answers because all of the things that need to transpire in order to affect the change may not sit with me or with the leader, as the case may be. But still being able to help persons to see the value and benefit of what needs to be done. And that, yes, it takes time. And that it doesn't mean, though, that as it is taking time, we stop and wait for it to happen, that we still need to continue to improve and continue to excel, if you will, in ways in which we can while the other changes are taking place. So it may appear to be challenging at times to some persons, but others take it on board and see it as an opportunity for their own development and see it as an opportunity to chart new vistas. And this then, it becomes a sort of infectious kind of orientation. So you really rely heavily on those who are already excited and infectious to help them to share the gospel, if you will, so that other persons would buy in to what is being done. But also to recognize that everyone is not going to buy in with the change at the end. Everyone is not going to agree with it or understand or even support it. But you still have to move forward.
You have been involved in leadership at a regional level. You have also been involved in the development of leaders around the region. How have you seen leadership evolve in the CARICOM region over time?
I would say that we still have a way to go. However, there have been some significant initiatives that have contributed to the development of leadership in the CARICOM region. Without trying to be parochial, I would say that the Caribbean Leadership Project has definitely contributed to leadership development in the public sector. As you know, just as well as I do, that as we go around the Caribbean region, not only do we have many of our alumni, but people who can say with pride that having gone to a CLP program, that I feel much more prepared to be a leader. Again, not being parochial, but I would also say that the Sagicor K-Field School of Business and Management and the business schools, the Mona School of Business and Management, as well as the Atalaktra Graduate School of Business, we have contributed to the development of managers. And I would say we've contributed to the development of managers as well as to the development of leaders. We are still in a region where people identify with management, but not necessarily as easily with the notion of leadership. And they tend to separate the two in very stark and distinct ways. And while, yes, there's some differences of the two, I think we all profess that a good leader must be a good manager as well. But very often we see that more people buy into the notion of management. But how has it evolved, to answer your question? I would say that there are more initiatives such as the CLP, and there are more schools of business and other institutes and organizations. There's the Management Institute of National Development in Jamaica and so on, who have invested in leadership development. And so the education, training, and development opportunities are many. And you also see that many persons have gone on to do graduate work, even some in leadership. I mean, we have a young lady here who has a master's in education and leadership, and she's had it for about 5 years, which I think is an exciting area that she decided to go into. We also have seen more women in leadership roles, more women who have taken on senior leadership positions. We still have not been able to perhaps balance the scales in that regard, but there are more of us who are in leadership positions. And I would say in terms of where we are as a people, I think we're more demanding in terms of saying we want leaders who are accountable, who are responsible, who understand why they are there, and who understand that they need to give us value for whatever service or product or endeavor that they are leading that we are to benefit from. So I think that the awareness is more there. Maybe the practices are not as entrenched that ideally we like or that we need. But we are on a road. We are on a path.
What do you see as the current and future challenges for regional leadership?
One of the challenges, I would say right off the bat, is the whole issue of productivity or lack thereof. We work, we perform, but I don't think we are as productive as a region as we ought to be. And it is a challenge for us as leaders because we also have our communities that slip back into our cultural nuances and say, well, as a culture, we don't have to do this or that this is acceptable and so on. And it therefore is a struggle sometimes for us as leaders. And one doesn't want to come across as being too draconian, and I'm not talking about me, but I'm talking across the board. And so we allow for some of those things that create what we would call a healthy working environment. But when we look at it in a very analytical way, we are not producing and we are not as productive as we ought to be if we're serious about moving our region forward. I think that is the biggest challenge. Because as Caribbean people, we enjoy our region, we are committed and devoted to our region, and we are all busy trying to become educated and to learn more. We're not necessarily putting it into practice. And so therefore we're not seeing it in terms of the productivity and the output and the discipline.
So finally, what do you see then as the way forward for regional leadership?
The way forward would be that we perhaps have to be a lot more stern, if you will. And I say stern with ourselves in terms of being clear about our vision and how we're going to realize the vision, and helping to inform and educate and influence persons to see the benefit of being more productive. So, in a sense, I'm putting the onus on leaders and saying that we have to take greater responsibility to making sure that our teams, our constituents, our customers, our people understand the imperatives of discipline and productivity, and that we are holding ourselves accountable. We're holding ourselves responsible, and therefore we will want to hold our stakeholders accountable and responsible.
Dr. Comma, thank you so much for sharing with us so extensively and so openly.
You're welcome.
And we want to thank you, our viewers, for watching. Please check out other videos in our Thought Leadership on Leadership series on our YouTube channel. Search for Caribbean Leadership Project.